Greetings everyone, and welcome back to Collide. And today I'll be showing you how to fold my Origami Slowpoke here. Like and subscribe if you enjoy these. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get started. So we'll just jump straight into collapsing the design with just a few pre-creases. We actually want to just make a mark right on the center right here. And once you make this mark, you'll then fold the edge right to that mark that you just made. I'll get a chest like this, and then I'll fold it down all the way like so. And then I'll do the same thing on this other side as well. Once I get it like this, I'll turn the model over, and this time I'll fold the corner to the very center like this. I will begin by actually collapsing the design now. So now, push these in first, and then make another little mark in the very center of this head part, right along here. Where you'll fold this to the very center point, like this, along with the two flaps on the sides. Unfold those, and then this time inside reverse fold them like this, and then fold this little flap behind like so. Once you get it like that, you're then going to take the flap and you'll fold this up, unlocking this flap here. So be sure it's not folded in like, well, not folded in like this, but be sure it's freely out like that. And you'll just fold these parts down. You can do them as far down as you want. Just fold them down like this completely, and you can, I guess you can fold this down now. I kind of lied earlier, but whatever. And now for this next part, we'll immediately create the eyes, at least a little bit of it. You'll fold them up like this, and then you'll unloose. Pull this part out. Fold the eye out a little bit like that. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. It's just about like this. And then what you'll do is then you'll pull this out a little bit. You'll then pretty much pinch this one edge here, because you at least want to try to get it to a square. If you can't get into a square, it's fine. But if you get something like this, at least, just flatten the model by flattening the back part and then crimping a little bit on the side right here, so it look like something like this. And then we'll just do the same thing, repeat the same on the other eye, like so. Just like this. So now, for the mouth part, the top part of the mouth is actually going to be longer than the bottom part, at least in length, just because Slowpoke has teeth. So to do kind of the reference points I'll do, so I'll do one for the bottom part of the mouth, which is pretty much right around here, where you're folding this tip to this line right here. Just kind of fold it all the way, and then fold this part up like this, just like that. Once you have these two lines created, you'll then do an open sync. The thing is, what you'll do is you'll do something like this, where the very top line you just made will connect with the bottom bigger line on the bottom part for the bottom part of Slowpoke's mouth. So you'll get a bit more of a, I don't know this, can't remember this shape, but something like this. You'll collapse it with these sides inside reverse folded in, so then you'll get them out like this. So once you get that, we'll next create the ears, And to do the ears, you'll you'll do a little bit of inside reverse fold here, of course, but you'll mainly just fold this like along the edge here, like this. So then you'll do the inside reverse folds here, making sure the ears flattened up like this. So then you'll fold this back up like this along the middle edge. But right here, we'll also do an inside reverse fold with this part sticking out right here. What I'm going to do for this part of the ear might look a little bit tricky, but it shouldn't be as bad as it looks. But I'll take this edge here, I'm going to pull it down, also trying to crease a new crease right along here. So it'll have like an even triangle, even with the head like this, pretty much. Then I'll fold it down where that point is going to connect to this point right here with the ear. And then I'll just flatten the model like this, being sure that this part, the very edge, is hitting with this ear at least. So have that completely flattened off, just like this, to hopefully have that ear flap there. And now I'm going to do the same thing, obviously on the other side. So I'll once again just fold this down like this, be sure I have the inside reverse folds around the head. Then I'll fold this up, while pretty much doing the same thing on the ear. Be sure that this part is not folded in like this, but that it's folded out like that. So you're kind of gaining that right triangle there. And then I'm once again going to take that edge, I'm going to pretty much pull it down like this. But then I'm creating this line right along there. So like you can like pretty much draw a perfect line if you were to use a pencil there, just imagine. But then right there, you'll take that middle point where it kind of hits to this point, and then you're hitting right to the corner of Slowpoke's ear. And then flatten it as far as you can. And take that there, the middle point there, where this part hits to there, and connect it to the other corner of his ear, just like this. Or then the model can be flattened, and then you can fold the ear out. So I'm hoping I made it a little bit clear. So for this next part, I'm gonna first just pull these layers out, these small parts right here, just have them folded out like this. So then on this next part, I'm gonna fold the head down like this as far as I can. And then when I pleat, you can fold this valley fold of the pleat just right above it, and that might give you a good result. This also could depend on how you might posture Slowpoke here. Once you get the pleat, we'll then swivel fold right underneath by just doing it like this, making sure this part is pinched right underneath the mouth, and then folded right down here. And these flaps are going to be Snorlax's faux legs. If they end up being shorter, then you can try to pleat it a little bit further down to make them a little bit longer. So on this next part here, we're going to do something a little bit complex right here, where we're going to try and wrap this around Slowpoke here. What you're going to try and do is that some parts are going to be unfolded a little bit, but you'll like kind of do like a close sync right here. So then this will appear over here. You'll have the ear folded out like this, so you can fold Slowpoke's head down like this, and then fold it up like this. hopefully going along with the creases you made. And then basically what you're trying to do here next is that you're kind of pretty much refolding the flaps, but you'll basically be reversing what they were before. It's like all the mountain flaps we've done are now going to be valley fold flaps. So like it'll look like this on the side of Slowpoke's ear right here, and you'll only have like this flap here, which we'll be able to hide it once we get into some final shapings. So then we'll do the same thing on the other side. I'll review with you again very quick. Just kind of unfolds most of the things. Be sure that this part right here where the swivel will at is close sync, and then you're wrapping this right around. Oh, and being sure that this part is actually also pushed up right there. That's like a little bit underneath the ear. But then refold everything, where mountain folds are valley folds now. And then have this folded up like so. So for this next part, after getting past that, we'll fold the model in half like this. And then this part up here, and don't mind these flaps underneath, they'll just be folded with everything else. They're just unused. Right here, we'll inside reverse fold this big flap. That'll pretty much go right underneath like this. I guess a marker point is just right at this very end here. And then you'll fold the tail flap up basically as high as you can go. Well, while you're folding it up though, I'm actually going to do this right here, where I'm going to connect the leg flap behind here with the tail flap. So something like this is what I'll go for. But you'll get it something like this. Then I'll do the same thing on this other side. Get a chest like this. And then, so the tail is pretty close to the head. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna go underneath the belly, and I'm gonna first spread squash right underneath like this. A familiar technique to some. Yeah, just do all the way right there. Then inside reverse fold it down to add another reference point, or no, not reference point, but creases. And then you'll push it back like this, using those triangle creases as your guide. And once you get like this, you can then swivel fold the tail backwards a little bit. Or rather than swivel folding, I'll actually fold. I'm not going to swivel fold, I'm actually going to valley fold them all the way backwards. Just so that way I can actually have these flaps locked. Because I don't want them spreading out and just kind of make it a little bit flimsy. Okay, so now we're just about done with the models. So now for the details here. What I'm going to do for the head, so I'm going to do a bit of a crimp here. So I'm actually going to fold this down like this, just to get started. And fold it down like this. So what I've done here is that I crimped Slowpoke's head a little bit upwards like this. And then I'm gonna fold this down. Downwards like this. So yeah, so then like at this part I'm just crimping it down like this. So then this will make be able to create the faux legs more visible. I'm also gonna have to crimp the tail a little bit more backwards. Which yeah, if that were to happen, you could just crimp it backwards a little bit more. Unfold these parts. Get it back here. And since this and this flap might get in the way, so you can actually, I'm gonna open sync this behind and push it down like just like this, so we don't get anything annoying visibly showing. And then to do the hind leg, so the posture I try to give for Slowpoke is to make him kind of have him lay down. So what I'm gonna do is with the hind legs, I'm gonna first fold it up like this. Once I fold it up, I'm not gonna fold it up. I'm just only gonna fold right around this section here. Because then right here, I'm actually gonna do a little bit of a swivel fold. Or not really a swivel fold, but okay, so I'm actually gonna crimp down here and then fold this underneath just to try to get the hind legs to line up still. So let me try this back here just to show it off one last time. So really I'll just go with the crimp and then just fold this right underneath. And I think you're pretty much going to be good with the hind legs. And then I guess I'll go straight to the face because I need to do stuff here. And the face is very dependable with how you want to do it. But this is going to be my way of doing Slowpoke's face, of course. So I'm going to fold the flap up. I'm going to create the teeth. I'll fold this down all the way. And then, so I'll pleat right underneath there. And then do teensy little swivel folds right underneath. And hopefully they can be in the right place. Which, thankfully, the placement for the teeth is also totally customizable. Just be sure that they're at least showing. And they're not big teeth anyways. So, I'll get something like this. And I'll do the same thing on this other side very quick. And being able to pinch the teeth can also make them look a little bit more sharper and more narrow. For my case though, it's a little bit hard. But anyways, but then I'll fold this up just to this tip to create the nose. And then I'll fold the mouth upwards like this. I'll pleat it up first, and then I'm gonna pleat the sides a little bit. So it's not just doing like a crimp kind of fold. You kind of need to pleat the edges along here too. And this you might have to play around with the mouth. It's not gonna look super good when I try to go do it just on the go like this. But basically, you just want something like this, and then for the bottom part of the mouth. And you'll also need to try, while you're doing this, you'll need to push the face in a little bit like this, just so you can actually 3D it. It's no longer going to be flat like this. You're going to have to have it out like this now. For the mouth, I'm going to have to pull this out just a little bit, because it's kind of locked underneath. So then I can fold these up, which will help give Slowpoke a little smile. So you could do a little bit of some swivel folds, just whatever way you can, just to get that Slowpoke kind of look with his mouth at least. I'll go with something like this for the eyes and ears, and you can either make the eyes like this, or another way you could do it, again, this is totally my preference, to make them a little bit more detailed-ish. You can kind of like hold that part down, and this will help just create a 3D effect, which is nice. Usually this is how I like to make eyes. And maybe it helps get like a little bit of a pupil. And you could do the same thing on this other side too. Just like that. And then as for the ears, what I like to do is I like to I don't know if it's called swivel folding, but you'll swivel fold around the ears like this. The ears might be a little bit tricky to get, just, yeah, be sure you kind of get that little pattern that he has. It helps that it doesn't look like bear ears. Something like that. I'll just kind of do a quick thing right here, so just boom, boom. There we go. He kind of looks like a dog right now, his head for some reason, but that's okay. And then the rest of the details are pretty straightforward. Just like with the tail, you can curl it, you can like this, you can then like maybe get a little bit of texture on the tip, or rather than like pleating it, what I like to do is I like to crimp it on the tip, just because it looks neater. And then you could just round a little bit right there, just like that. And then the faux legs, we'll be using a crimp to make it look 3D. I'm actually gonna crimp upwards. I should have done this in previous versions, but just to crimp the faux legs upwards a little bit. I'm actually gonna have to do just right about up here, so it doesn't make them look entirely skinny, but something like this. And yeah, so something like that, and then I'll show you the final details for this design in 3, 2, 1. That's not a good snap, but I have the Origami Slowpoke finished up right here with all the details needed. As you can see, I added a lot more bumps just around here, and I added little details around the feet, maybe to give them a little bit of some details at the claws, but that's kind of all I went for. I kind of crimped a little bit right here on the head. I twisted the tail a little bit, and also pinched a little bit right underneath his belly, especially around here, just to get this kind of triangle form, just to get a detail of his faux legs. But that'll be it for folding Slowpoke for now. I keep calling him Snorlax, and I will see you in the next video. Subscribe and like if you enjoyed this, and I'm hoping for more to come out soon. And I'll see you next time. Later.